government, it's all about the dinghy crossings, according to the Home Secretary. It's about the weather. Who'd have thought it, Nigel?
Well, that's the point. I mean, for some reason, the Tory party are getting really sort of up in arms about this. But what the government are doing is collecting data about the weather to match with the number of people who cross.
Give me
it's obvious, isn't it?
Why are they collecting data? When it's not windy, they cross in greater numbers.
So what they want to do is they are just collecting the data to see what sort of weather.
Perhaps they should buy a wind machine.
I was just going to say, why don't they put a great big fan at the coast and just blow them all back?
I think Priti Patel thought about that, and they decided that wouldn't have worked.
Nigel,
but isn't it quite a good idea
just
to
ridiculous.
Simply have the data?
It just shows how incompetent and hopeless they are.
Do you know, we're in a world where they won't tell us who's committing violent sexual crime, but they will tell us about the weather and boat crossings because they want to discuss that in order to find an excuse for why we are going to hit record numbers this year. And do you know what? It's irrelevant because what's happening is the boats are bigger, they've got more people on them, and all of the pools that are pulling people here continue. The hotel rooms, the telephones, the driving lessons, the money, everything. Until we stop all of that, the boats are going to come whether the sun shines or not.
Yeah, look, Doc, I take all that point. That's all fine. But the point here is that it seems to be it's a simple data collecting exercise. What sort of weather encourages more people?
Nigel, you don't need a Home Secretary to do data collecting. We know when it's not very windy, they cross in numbers.
Of course we do.
You look at the sea, think they'll be coming over today.
If it's nice and calm and sunny, or like it was on Saturday, a load of people cross. Of course we do.
They're fiddling while Rome's burning.
Is correlating it. And
Can't they get on with smashing the gangs?
Well, the smashing the gangs thing has not been particularly successful so far this year.
No kidding.
Funny that.
Who could have predicted that, Nigel?
I do think that he ought to have had more of a result. The Keir Starmer should have had more of a result, given that we're now coming into the first year of a Labour government.
Couldn't we also have said to the European Union, stuff your reset agreement until we have a proper deal to stop the migrants flooding across the Channel?
OK, but what does that deal look like?
Well, it means the French police do not stand there idly laughing and taking photographs when dinghies are pouring into the Channel. That's what it means.
Do you know what
That's
it looks like? It looks like this. France. Everyone that comes over, we're bringing them back to you. And every time you say no, we're taking away 10 more fishing licences. That's what it looks like.
Well, OK. Well, why doesn't France just join in this little game and say, right, but because these people haven't come to France, they're only passing through France to get to Britain.
They haven't come to France, Nigel.
They haven't come there to go and sort of look at the sights of Calais. They've come there to actually
come to Britain.
To cross to Britain.
But they're in a safe country.
So they're not actually France's problem.
Yes, they
are.
So
if we follow René's idea...
We're paying them 500 million, so they are their problem.
Well, we're paying them 500 million to try and stop it. But
they're coming from France, because in France they get a tent in a camp.
Right.
They don't get driving licences. They don't get bikes and travel passes and taken to the zoo for a day to help them feel like they're part of us. That's why they're coming from France.
Yeah, but what the French the French could do is just help them across and take them off and drop them off in Norfolk. If we start saying, right, we want all these migrants to go back to France because you're a safe country.
What do you think the French fishermen would do when their licences started disappearing? What do you think they would do?
How on earth do you actually put licences together with migrants?
Because it's about a negotiation, Nigel. It's about saying, I've got in my hand something you really, really want. You've got in your land something we don't want. Let's do a trade.
And the French will turn around and say, we're not sure we quite like that deal. I'll tell you what, we'll actually ban you from the £150 billion defence contracts that you might be able to
get. We're not in that yet, anyway.
Or we end up...
Well, we have to pay to get into that, and we don't even know if we're going to get any contracts.
Well, but it's being negotiated at the moment.
Yeah, but why have we already done the fishing deal when we haven't sorted out the Channel?
Yeah.
Because they're different things.
No, they're not.